Hey, um, I'm back at work after having my kid, and I thought I might try recording my commentary while I'm painting, just to I guess sort of expedite the process of commentary. I'm super busy. Taking care of a baby is hard, time consuming, but I feel like if I talk and paint, I can still have commentary videos. Um, so I'm working on my seahorse right now. Um, and I say seahorse, this is a hippocampus. I have my little color square. I'm trying to make sure that I keep all these colors and values really compressed, really specific, pretty minimal. I'm trying to keep the hippocampus pretty high key, so I have a warm brown and a cool kind of gray shadow. There's not a lot of contrast on him. Um, and because I've been thinking a lot about contrast in general, I'm re-listening to a class on schoolism, the environment design by Nathan Fowkes, and he talks about artists are designers of contrast, and I've heard that in another class I took, and well, I don't really think about that too much, and so that's what I've been doing for this piece, sort of the nugget of wisdom. I've been pondering as I work. There's a lot of balls in the air with with learning. I feel like there's just a bunch of stuff I could really think about, but I can only really practice a few, like hone in on a few. Um, hmm. I'm thinking about a lot of my edges. I think this is coming out pretty well. I like the contrast between the sort of dark fin in the back here, and the light face. This is sort of the time when I try to make a lot of my changes, because it gets much harder later on. And because I have less time, I've been trying to be a lot more judicious about my choices, what I make, what I don't make. Crunched all the time for time. I use these texture brushes initially to lay in the color. I like that a lot. I might come back to texture brushes. Right now I just have this nice transfer brush. I'm mostly thinking about, so here are my lines. I'm thinking about how I'm sort of defining the base of this creature. So I have my cast shadows are very blue. His shadows very kind of gray, cool gray. And I have this bounce light from the sand, which is warm. So I might have amped it up a little much, but I mean it's fiction, and I think that the pink looks really nice, kind of magical but off-putting, which is kind of the goal here. I was inspired by a game called Sea of Thieves. They have these hippocampus on the ferry that you go to when you die, ship, and they have unicorn horns. and I wanted to do a hippocampus with a horn, but kind of predatory, you know. And I've been trying to get more into creature design. My current project, I'd say that I'm working on, because I am trying to work more on projects rather than individual pieces, just because I feel like I don't know, things feel better. It feels more like I'm visually developing something when I have a project. My current project is creating this, my goodness, that error at the top. Here, let me restart Photoshop and fix that. All right, I'm back. That bug happens a lot, usually when I'm using OBS. I might have to update OBS, which is the recording software I use. But anyway, my project is I'm designing sort of ocean creatures and places for the Sea of Thieves universe. I've decided that I like it. It's got enough design space that it's essentially I'm kind of like visually developing fan art for this game that I like. And so this is just a monster that I feel like you could find there. Not a lot of like depth, I guess, to it. I was mostly having fun with the design of this creature and sort of trying to make this composition feel, it's like a pretty horse, but also unsettling. That's why I don't have very many warms in this piece, warm colors, as I'm trying to make this feel kind of, it's colorful and saturated, but it's also kind of off-putting, unsettling, like a Jaws movie or something. It's so easy to idle while I'm talking. Let's see. Probably the next thing I should put on is barnacles. Got these barnacles here on the horse. But yeah, I've been visually developing for my project. This is the first thing I've really done, other than a hermit crab, which isn't really a final piece. I was just drawing it. Well, I drew a bunch of hermit crabs. But it's a little amorphous, my project, a little vague, just because I've been for a year working on just one-off portfolio pieces, and they're not really resonating with me very much. Like I'm not very excited to work on those pieces, and that's the problem, you know? I'm excited to work on this horse, but let's see, wait, what color should these barnacles be? Barnacles are normally white, but this whole horse is white. You give them like a cool, that's a little too warm, maybe like a cool blue-gray. I give them a, well, maybe a gray-purple. Just a scotch. Oh, it's kind of different from the yellow. I figured, when people ask me, well, what do you want to do, other than giving out a job, which is not really like what you want to do, like what do you want to make? Oh, I want to be an accountant. That doesn't make sense. That I don't really know what I like making. I like painting a lot of different things, and so when someone asks me like, oh, well, what do you really want to do? Like from a day-to-day basis, like, geez, I like watercolors. I like making these dragons. I draw dragons. I like I like looking at a lot of comic book art. So I used to make comics. I haven't lately. So I don't really know what I want to do day in and day out because you know, I like portraits, I like environments, I like designing props and monsters, and it's really wide of it's too much to master. It's just too much. No, I'm not gonna learn how to do all of those as masterfully as I need to. So I've been trying to give myself some room after for maybe for the next few weeks to sort of study in this project what I like to make. So I'm gonna make creatures when I feel like making creatures, and then I'm gonna make like an island. I've been taking this environment class again. I really like environments. I don't think I've ever painted a fully finished like final piece environment. I think I've only done little sketches. So I've been really wanting to paint like an island, you know, in this project. And so, oops, I might do that next. Where I take maybe a similar color palette, because I really like this that I'm using. I try to design maybe an island nearby. I also really love Magic the Gathering landscapes, but they have the, you know, the color pie. So they have the mountains and the islands and the plains. So I might make my own dual colored lands, you know, volcanic island and plain island and kind of a gross swampy island. I guess a marsh. The shadows probably aren't quite blue enough. I don't want to idly paint. It's important that I keep my color scheme kind of consistent. Is that dark enough? I don't think that's quite dark enough. We're gonna go to here. We don't want too much contrast, but it has to be clear that this is the shadow of the barnacle. And we can check on the lines how I'm doing. But yeah, I might actually do some land painting. And it'll be a part of this project, and that's how it's cohesive and not, you know, wishy-washy, which is what I'm worried about with a lot of my work, is that I can kind of go all over the place. But goodness, I feel like this would be not super interesting to watch. It's too slow. If you've made it this far, you have a lot of patience, more than me. Those are the barnacles. Yeah, they look kind of gross. That's good. But yeah, I might do some environment painting, and I think probably by the end of the year, after I've been working on this, you know, I have some paintings for this project. I am gonna decide what my what I actually want to do. Like, this is kind of what the narrowing in, because I've avoided narrowing in for so long. You know, because I like to do so many things, I haven't picked a favorite. And so I'm gonna, let's put that here, put this here. This is not actually very delicate how I'm doing it. It's good. It's good. I need to go bigger picture, I think. I'm getting too mired in the details of these barnacles while I'm talking. It's very easy to do. What was I saying? want to get this edge back here a little softer. I have a lot of fun brushes from the brush club. It's a magic box, not magic box, Oatly Academy thing. My first class was a magic box, so I think of everything in terms of magic box extensions. I don't know if I like this. There's a brushier one that's really nice. It's got some good lines. I have my favorites up here. But yeah, you should join the brush club. It's really good. You get free brushes when you subscribe to a newsletter. The newsletter's good. The brushes are good. The Oatly Academy's good. Hashtag not sponsored. I want to soften this edge up because it's really dark and I want this hard contrast up here to be more important, more dramatic, more interesting. So I'm gonna just soften this with this brush stroke. I really love brushy paintings. I've been trying to practice with brushes. I can just play around. I just can't quite get the feel of the paintings I like yet. I might have to do some like brush economy master studies. Master studies are pretty much the only things that have really helped me get through learning as much as I have with art. I don't think me muddling through on my own has never got me very far, but as soon as I sit down to study one aspect of a painting, I do actually, it'll stick. Like this color palette is from a master study. I've edited it a little bit, but it's the idea is there. It's actually from he's not an old master. He's alive. It's a Noah Bradley painting. There's no way he'd ever watch this, so, but he did an island, a shoal. I thought it was really nice. I liked how colorful it was, with how lonely it felt. I think it's Lonely Sandbar. Lonely Sandbar, I think is the name of the painting. But yeah, I've added a little bit more of green, and I've added a little bit more of this dark blue bit, but I'm trying to keep it kind of close to that because I really liked it. I thought it felt kind of magical, but sad. All right, I'm starting to goof off a little bit. I should go back to trying to soften this. But yeah, I have to figure out what I like to make. I'm supposed to be doing blog posts. I told myself I'd do blog posts on Fridays. I think I might, I can't really count this as a blog post. This is rambly. I feel like a blog post sort of has a connotation of being thought out and written, not just I don't know, free association, which is what I'm doing right now. I think those lines look really nice. I like the sort of the liney edges on it. That feels good. Let's see. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to find something to hone in on, you know, something to put on my business card, essentially. Am I a creature designer? Am I a environments person? Because I haven't picked it all. I think right now I put there's my son. Maybe you can hear him. As soon as he gets upset, this will be over. That's my time limit. Am I a prop designer, you know? I think, yeah, I have creature, I think I have fantasy illustrator is what I have on there, which is a little vague. Like all the illustrators I like are a little bit more specific, consistent people with what they make. I have a friend on an art friend that is really interested in creatures, and I like her creature portfolio a lot. Very inspiring. And the reason I did a horse was because another friend is doing a project based around Pegasi, and I think that that's really cool and inspiring. Her work is pretty neat. Sky Cowboys, it's called. I follow the Tumblr for that. Lots of good Pegasi. She has a horse, so she is very good at drawing them. Better than this. Trying to get that edge. There. I'm starting to get fiddly again. I should decide what I want to do and then do that instead of fussing with it. But yeah, I can't count this as a blog post. I didn't start it right at the beginning. I forgot. This kind of turned into the final piece pretty slowly. I've been doing a lot of little sketches, and this one just kind of ended up being what I was working on. So I don't have the recording for the beginning part, for making the drawing or anything. So I have my saturated blue shadows. I'm going to lighten up this eye a little bit, I think. I think that if we're designers of contrast, this is an area that needs that contrast. Needs it. There we go. That looks cool. Maybe a little more. Cool. Good. Yeah. All right. The mouth, there's a lot. I don't want to get too detaily. I'm trying to get big picture stuff. Probably all this edge work back here needs to be resolved a little bit. How they're transitioning, that's not good. So this actually is a hard edge back here. This light and dark area. This is like it's based off of a tiger shark. And there's kind of this pointy bit in the back. So I don't want to soften it too much because it's not supposed to read as a soft transition, but I don't want it to call so much attention to itself. It's not as important, this tail, to my story of this hunter about to catch a fish, which is what it is about. Yeah. So, a version of this that I actually like to listen to, of talking while doing something, is Mark Rosewater, one of the designers for Magic the Gathering. I think the lead designer is his title. He's the head honcho, the big cheese. He does a podcast called Drive to Work, where when he's driving to work, he talks about something. And I like that. I like listening to that. I think if I continued doing this, where I was just working and talking and recording a video, I'd want it to be like that. I think he tends to pick a topic, so that's probably what I should have done before I started. I didn't think about it too hard. I haven't been thinking about, I think about the colors here. I've been thinking about those pretty hard, but I haven't been thinking about a lot else very hard. So I could tell you about drawing. Yeah, maybe drawing. I don't know. Maybe next time I'll have more of a focus. This is kind of an introduction. Victoria Free Association time. We talk about artists and stuff I like. It's like you're hanging out with me, only you can't respond. Mm, mm. I'm trying to think of the next big picture move. I mean, it seems slow, but if I can get this big picture stuff done right the first time, and not just fiddle, then I mean, the painting basically solves itself. Then you can spend most of the time doing fun stuff with it, like this edges. I like designing edges. Is my big thing. I feel like digital gives me a lot of opportunities to be very creative and very precise with edges. I'm still not very in control with watercolor. Oh, there's my son. He's getting wiggly. It's not really. It's time to wake up yet, though. Shoo shoosh. I've been working very hard on drawing lately. Yeah. Let's see. I have all these shells on the horse that I drew. I don't want to shade them quite as dark just because I don't want to disrupt my value structure that much for the textures. They're just not as important to me. I might get this part of his face down here a little more contrasted, a little more defined. Been working very hard on drawing, and I mean like the way I make lines, the way I make shapes, the way I'm describing my forms. I think that I've been avoiding it, and it's before now, and I think that that is what my work needs, is a more intentional, studious drawing. So I spent a lot of time doing studies of horses and trying to, when I was making the head for this, I made a bunch of drawings of horse heads, of different shapes and sizes, after my studies, trying to get an interesting shape, interesting design. I went with this downward curve, which I think is called a Spanish head for horses, but this is a little more dramatic than most horses have. I usually draw horses with their noses kind of like up back again, but when I was doing my research, it turns out horses don't all have that, so, which is good. This feels more like ocean fish like to me. Okay. Okay, I think I know what the next big picture step is. We need to get this tongue. This tongue needs to have the appropriate value on it. And so we have a dark pink. This is tricky because I really don't want there to be too many worms on this piece. This is sort of a point of interest, but I feel like too much worm makes it feel a little less unsettling. I break the palette. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hold on. So we want cool and saturated for my shadows, but the local value is very pink, so Maybe we go a little more purple gray. It's a little better. I like that. We can probably actually go a little more saturated, a little more cool. Get kind of a darker bit on the bottom there, gradient. Kind of like a drawing diary. Oh, it's okay, son. It's okay. He's very cute. I know every mom thinks their baby's cute, but my son is just so cute. He is just the cutest. I'm getting that pink edge on the top. I think I'm okay with a little bit more contrast up here, just because this is sort of the point of my story, this moment where he's about to get the fish. I guess my gums could have this nice shadow too. There we go. I really could have started with the drawing for this one, recording. This would have been a nice process painting, I think, to put on YouTube or something. It's pretty. I like it. I didn't know I was gonna like it when I started. I kind of hope I like my work, but I never know if I'm gonna. Sometimes I start paintings and they become tiring really fast, but I want to complete them because, you know, I spend the time designing them and I want to not waste my time. So I don't want to give up every time something gets hard. Okay. I don't want a tangent there. I'm changing the drawing just a scooch. Technically, this horse is breaking over the water a little bit. Shark fins coming out. Jaws-like. Scary shark movie-like. So that hair is not going to keep floating up. Same with these hairs. They're not going to float up. They're going to tangle right on the surface where it breaks. There we go. And this is hair too. Now, the color for the hair. Color for the hair. What is the color for the hair? You know, I never decided that in my little sketch here. I didn't put that in. This is a pretty critical choice. Probably gray. I think gray. I don't want to... It might be a little dark. I don't know. That's kind of nice, though. I like the shape of it. I kind of dig that. That's nice. I think I'm gonna go with the dark gray. Yeah. All right. And maybe we'll add a little bit more blue in there? Ooh, that might be a little too much blue. Hair doesn't really get that blue, I feel like. So this is like a bounce light getting in there. How much bounce light would the hair get? I think we'll leave it simple like that. Alright, now we've got to fix this silhouette at the top, just because I drew this hair floating up like that, and I've decided it's not, because he's breaking the surface of the water. So we're gonna probably take a texture brush. Yeah, this is called a real brush. It's also from the Brush Club. Hashtag not sponsored. Yep. There we go. Oh, we got that Photoshop glitch again. I have no idea why that happens, but I do think it does seem to sort of coincidentally happen whenever I'm recording, so I guess I do have some idea. Alright, so get the hair. It's good, it's good. What else? I want to get that cast shadow kind of behind, maybe a little darker, behind this arm. There's a pretty clear definition between the arm and the body. And then I want to get the highlight from this gill over the whole edge of the gill. Because there's a little flap, that's how the gill works. I put the gills where the horse's lungs are, because I felt like it. I felt like, you know, that's how we'll get the air in. It's right where the horse would breathe. We'll put the gills where the lungs should be. I don't know. I feel creative. Let's see. What else? I think we can put the part where the horse is breaking the water in. That might be nice. This is probably more stream content than video content. Yeah, yes, son. More stream content. But I stopped streaming because I had some viewer interaction, but not that much, and some of it was a little weird. I had a face cam so people knew I was a girl, and we'd get people that, for some reason, thought that was an invitation to be weird. A little weird. There we go. So I stopped streaming. I might pick it back up again. I think it's a Patreon reward. Okay, so we have this warm light on the horse. I'm gonna go cool light for this break here in the water. Maybe even a little bit more blue. I don't want it to look like the horse's body, but I don't want it to have so much attention. Let's put it on a different layer so I can manipulate it after I'm done. That's kind of nice. I do like that. I like that. Okay, okay. So after we do that, then I want to get the top of this fin. So we're seeing it now that it's above the water. Oh, you want to see my perspective grid? Where did it go? I'll show you my perspective grid. Where did it? Sun, where did my perspective grid go? Sun? Oh, you know it might be in lines. Oh, here it is. Let's turn up the lines. There we go. So we're looking up. The vanishing point is below the bottom of the picture plane in 1-point perspective. So we're looking up through the water at this. Yes, we might be out of time. The sun, he hungers. Well, it's going to be kind of green. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching all the way through me talk about stuff.